Well, it comes as heavy fighting continues in northern Syria, with the Turkish military's offensive to dislodge Kurdish-led troops from the border region now into a second week. Ankara has been widely criticised for its incursion into the country, with many fearing it will lead to an ISIL resurgence. Meanwhile, a letter Donald Trump penned to Turkey's president has been released. He wrote it a day after Ankara started its offensive in Syria. The US leader asks President Erdogan to act in a right and humane way and vows to destroy the Turkish economy if he oversteps the mark.
You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be a fool. I will call you later.
Well, there's no official information on how President Erdogan reacted to that, but some reports say he threw the letter in the bin. Meanwhile, talks between the Turkish leader and the US Vice President Mike Pence are happening right now, I believe, with Washington seemingly confident of persuading Ankara to abort its military operation in Syria. It wasn't exactly the warmest of welcomes for the US guests, though, with two Turkish flags standing tall before the negotiations instead of the Stars and Stripes. Well, we're joined now by Harun Armagan, member of the Turkish ruling Justice and Developing Party, for his take. Arman, can I put it to you what a lot of our guests and analysis say about what is occurring here? Turkey's operation has displaced at least 160,000 people. There's evidence emerging of war crimes being committed by its Islamist proxies, and it's allowing ISIL fighters to escape from prison. How, therefore, can Turkey seriously claim it's working to stabilise northern Syria and create a peace corridor?
First of all, I am very surprised that you're using some information that's provided to you by terrorist organizations' sources on ground. There is no verification of such war crimes made the Free Syrian Army or Free National Syrian Army here. Indeed, there are reports from Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, even the UN, that war crimes were actually carried out by terrorists PYD and YPG.
Well, no, let me just say to the audience, Harun, that the PKK and the YPG are different. PKK are recognized as a terrorist organizations. The YPG are not. They're units fighting on the ground primarily against Islamic State.
Yeah, let me set the record straight here, and let me correct you here. PKK, YPG, SDF, they're all same terrorist organizations under different names. There's a tactic that PKK uses to create confusion. It's not only me saying this. The senior U.S. officials, such as former Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter, General Dunford, and Army Commander in Syria, Thomas Raymond, I admitted that how the rebranding of different names of the same terrorist organization was made and used as a tactic. Let's be very clear here.
Let's move on. We disagree on that. But what does this dispute, Harun, mean for NATO as an alliance? Do you see Turkey leaving or being kicked out?
No. First of all, it's very important to understand that Turkey has been forced to take action against a terrorist organization. We have been under attack of this terrorist organization, terrorist PKK, for more than 700 times in last 2 years. Only in last week, 20 civilians lost their lives because of this terrorist organization. Therefore, as a NATO ally, as the United States and other countries, when, according to Article 5 NATO agreement, if there is an attack to one NATO country, it should be considered an attack to all countries. Therefore, we expect our allies to understand our fight against terror and be with us.
But NATO does not agree with that, do they? There is a rift developing here, a clear and present one.
No, NATO Secretary made a statement that there are security concerns for Turkey, rightfully taken into consideration, and Turkey has right to carry out operations to make sure that its borders are safe from terrorist organizations. And also, let's not forget that Turkey is the only country who has taken great responsibility for the civilians in Syria. We are hosting more than 4 million Syrian refugees in our country. That's more than any other country in the world. And also, let's remember the two aims of this operation here. Number one is the clearing out the terrorists from our border, securing our borders from terrorist organizations, PKK and ISIS.
Okay.
And number two is creating safe zones for the civilians who are inside Syria, who have nowhere else to go.
Okay, just something else to get your thoughts on, Harun. President Erdogan is to visit Russia later this month. What do you expect to come from that meeting?
We have been very clear with our engagement with Russia, United States, and other countries regarding to Syria. We care the unitary integrity of the country, and also we are against any terrorist organizations flourishing in Syria. Syrian people are under threat of terrorist organizations and a brutal regime. So we are very clear on our expectations regarding the Syria. We want a country next to ours safe from terrorist organizations and a brutal regime.
Okay, the view from Ankara, Harun Armagan, member of the Turkish ruling Justice and Development Party. Thanks for your time.